That is hilarious. I was muted. And see, chat, this is why we got to bond, right? Because I be reading the chat, right? KB be lacking sometimes, right? Denver's a little bit antisocial, but I reads the chat. So y'all should be able to hear me now type shit. But as I was saying, Denver says he's going to be running a little bit late by a couple of minutes. KB seems to also be running late, but I'm on time. I'm punctual. I get brownie points for that. But while I hold it down, I think it's very, very crucial that we just once again reiterate the thanks. Shout out to everyone that has been giving Goldblooded a bunch of support. We just hit 400 literally in like 10 and 15 days. It's been kind of wild, but big shout out to y'all. Oh, KB is here. What's good, KB?
KB's not punctual.
Hell no, man. Super Bowl Sunday, by the way. Chat below. Let us know who y'all got. Me personally, I don't watch football. All right, the Lions are out, so I got the Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes is cut from the same type of Brady claw, so I'm gonna just throw it out there before we get in the Golden State Warrior talks. That's me, though. You know what I'm saying? I think KB also got the Chiefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that should be overall a pretty fun game. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, chat. I'm still kind of like high off last night, bro. Steph's game winner, excellent shot, excellent big shot. We said coming in last week that this next upcoming stretch would define us, and I think we've gone undefeated since last week, right, KB?
I think we were on a 4-game win streak. So
yeah. So I mean, shoot, things are good so far. Yeah. Our next game is versus the Utah Jazz, who, again, if you guys remember, they traded a good bunch of their players away, so they're not going to be as good of a team as they were before. So those are actually winnable games for the Warriors. It's still going to be tough because they still play very good at home, and both of our games against the Jazz in this next 3-game set are going to be versus the Jazz at home. So gotta lock in. You know, but I want to show y'all some film real quick because
I'm not gonna lie, bro. What's good, chat? What's good? I didn't really get to say hi to y'all yet. You feel me? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. You feel me? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. This is big. This is going to be the most positive pod probably all year.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah.
Because there's nothing. I'll be honest, there's nothing to complain about, bro. There's nothing to complain about. I think this week has been like Like, let me just go look at our schedule and the standings and everything, just to give y'all a little bit of a reference, really quick. Let me share my screen with y'all.
Yeah, we'll pull that up here.
Damn, that's a crazy ad.
That's a big ad.
That's a big ad.
Yeah.
Do you see that, bro? Look at this, man. Wait, look at this. Let me zoom in. 6-2, man. I'll never forget it. November 8th is when it all fell down.
And you scroll down and it's just L.
Look at this step. 6-2, and then it just L. Moved to 6-8, 7-8.
That is a nasty stretch.
But listen, chat, we on the up and up though. We on the up and up. In our last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're 7-3 in our last 10, bro. You feel me? Moved to 25 to 25. It's been good. Last night, I think, when was it? Yeah. Last week when we were here, we were talking about this game. If y'all can see my mouse, the Atlanta Hawks game.
That should feel like 3 losses, chat.
Chat, I'm telling you right now, if we won that game specifically and won the rest, it genuinely would have felt like we won, like, bro, that win would have meant so much more to me. We could have lost in Phoenix, or we could have lost to Phoenix, and I would have never cared. That win in Atlanta would have meant so much more, bro. It was that one hurt.
Yeah.
But we're 7-3 in our last 10. In our last 10 games, we've been one of the best offenses in the NBA as well. If I'm not mistaken, I can pull that up too just to make sure. But we are one of the best offenses in the NBA thus far to start the year. And it's actually been pretty substantial. I think that lineup of Draymond, Kuminga, Wiggins, Clay, and Steph, and even Pods, to be honest with you, because Pods has been really good for our offense this past stretch as well.
Yeah.
And if I just look at our last 10 games, we have been the fourth best offense in the NBA with a 121 offensive rating. And defensively, I think we're also like been playing we've been playing really good defensively as well. We actually have the third best defense in the last 10 games as well with a 111 defensive rating. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been really good for the Dubs. They've been playing really good basketball, second in net rating as well with a 9.7, only trailing the Cleveland Cavaliers. So it's been extremely, extremely good this week in terms of play for everything. Scoring 133, 144, 134, and still losing is insane. Yeah, I know. The offense has been offensing, and some of the defenses in some of these games is crazy. Like the Kings game, I remember no one played defense legitimately.
No,
Everyone was scoring. I remember that.
that was a shootout type of game. Yeah.
The Lakers game, it was close for the majority of the game. Then we took a big lead, and then we blew it, and then the game stayed close, and then we lost. Philly was a really slowed game, and it really slowed down a lot. And then from 119 to 107, I think like the second half is when we actually started to pick it up. Um,
I
the
can't be real quick. I got some numbers for you in terms of lineups. Are you ready?
yeah, pull it up.
So our highest differential lineup in 182 possessions is the Steph, B Pods, Wiggins, Kuminga, and Draymond Green at the 5 lineup. It's a plus 40 on the season, 139 points per possession, 62.1 effective field goal percentage on offense, and then on defense, it's a 98.9. So that is our number one. Our number two is Steph, Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, Kuminga, and Looney, which has 125, so less possession. So I don't really put too much stock into that one as well. But honestly, bro, I think a big reason why we've had so much success, Draymond Green deserves a ton of credit. Defensively, he's been very locked in. There's been like no games from him. He's been extremely dialed in. Also, offensively, he's been a great connector piece for our team as well. And playing him at the 5 and going small has actually worked out for the Warriors. Do I think that there's other things we could be doing to better maximize our team consistently throughout a game? Yes, but Draymond at the 5 actually hasn't looked bad.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't been terrible. Do I think he should continue to play the 5 for the rest of the season? Hell no.
No.
I've been saying Draymond's been playing some of his better basketball for the year, this year in general. Like when you look at it from a complete like grand scheme of things, obviously outside of the games missed, he's been playing really well. Like offensively, he's been finishing his shots. His 3-point shot looks great. Defensively, he's been all over the place. I think he's been a top 5 defender this year in the association, stamped. And it goes without saying, Draymond Green's ability to have this defensive longevity is actually like pretty substantial for this team. Because when you look at it, Steph and his longevity offensively being able to be the player that he is very much needed. And with Draymond alongside him being able to continue what he's doing on the defensive side of the floor, not to match per se, because I obviously do think Steph's impact is more, but to essentially be that guy defensively for Steph and just the team in general and be that hub for like the last 9 years or so. It's pretty outstanding. A lot of elite defensive players of his caliber would usually start to tend to fall out around after like year 6 or 7. But Draymond in these 9 years or 10 years has been playing some of his better defense over these past couple of years, and it's actually pretty outrageous when you actually think about it. So shout out to Draymond for his longevity, being able to be this impactful defensive player while not even having. You have the correct wing pieces, but not even having a legitimate 5 to back you up on that back line. So shout out to you for playing that role. You've been tremendous for us and the reason as to why we are where we are. But another reason, right, as to why where we are today is because of the best player on this team, Steph Curry. And over his last, I want to say 10 games, he has been hooping out of his mind. On the season, Steph's been averaging 28 points a game, shooting 46%, 42 from 3, 93 at the line, 59 effective field goal percentage. Been having a pretty solid year. But what picked it up from his after the slump was this last like 9 to 10 games. Now you can say 11 as well, because what he's been doing offensively in this past stretch has been kind of crazy. So if I go to from Chicago, the game on January 12th, till now, so pretty much a month, He's been averaging 32 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 50% from the field, 48% from three, and 95% at the line. So this is an 11-game sample, chat, where he's been averaging 30 points on 50, 48, 95 splits.
Oh no, you're not even doing him justice. If you go to his last 10, 33 on 52% from the field, 49 from three on
No, I included
13 and a half.
Chicago where he had like a stinker.
Oh, okay, word. But bro, 13 and a half threes a game right now in this stretch. That is so crazy. That's insane.
Yeah, that is crazy. So shout out to Steph. Shooting 13 threes a game, I believe. Let me just make sure that I'm shooting 13 threes a game and converting it at a 48% clip in your last 11 is
that's crazy, bro.
That's egregious. That's something not egregious, sorry. That's outrageous. Like that's not something that is normal to do. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Steph. Been hooping his last 11. That's a 48% on 13 attempts is crazy. He's basically like out of 13 shots, I believe he's hitting 6.
Yeah,
that's wild. Wow, he's on pace, chat, to break his record from 16 for a single season. For the amount of threes that you hit in a single season, and at the age that he's coming on, at the age of 36, it's pretty substantial what he's doing. So shout out.
I think the most impressive thing I've seen from Steph, beyond how he's playing right now, is again the durability and how healthy he's been up to this point. Like he's been available night in and night out routinely, and I'm very thankful for that. That's helped us have a ton of success. I also think that his overall floor game has been a lot better compared to what it was at the beginning of the season. I hope that he's able to continue making the right choices on the basketball court. But he's also been like gunslinging, man. In the fourth quarters, he's been very, very good. And again, I said this literally 10 games ago. To me, Steph Curry, by far, should be in the clutch player of the year conversation. To me, he is the clutch player.
He's the
leader.
He's the leader by far. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
Yeah.
The amount of game leading shots he's already had this season is crazy. The amount of times where he's going on stretches in the fourth quarter to close games, having double-digit point fourth quarters, like it's clear as day who the favorite is for the clutch player.
There is a stat, KB, right, where they said if you take away all of his free throws in the clutch, he's still leading in clutch points. Still,
yeah. I mean, I think the difference between him and second place is like 100 points.
Yeah.
So he's been clearly the best player in the NBA when it comes to clutch time situations. So I think that's completely fair to say that he deserves that award. Another thing that's just been like really good for him as of late is the tendencies of like what he was struggling with to start the year. So like I was noticing to start the year, he's really like being a sloppy passer, not really taking care of the ball that much. Didn't really give a fuck. And then over this last month and a half, he's been taking care of the ball a lot more, especially like when he's been on ball more. He's been initiating, playmaking, passing the ball really well. And I'm glad that he's doing that to start this new calendar year as well, because the tendencies were not looking good for him. And it was hard to defend because, yeah, he wasn't really turning the ball over a lot and just making a lot of sloppy passes. But he's cleaned it up. He's back to what he should be doing from a passing perspective. I'm not saying he's the craziest passer, but he was never like a terrible one. And he was terrible to start the year. So shout out to 30 for picking that back up. And the scoring, obviously, it's just been insane to me. Someone asked me, where do I have him ranked in the league? I think he's a top 5 player. I don't think he's better than guys like for this season in particular. I don't think he's better than guys like Jokic, Luka, Giannis, Embiid, obviously when he was there. But I think he's just there still in that top 5 as well, right? And this is like considered like a bad year for Steph for his standards. Obviously, still a solid year for like any other caliber player. But I think like this year is pretty like evident that those players have been playing better than Steph this year. And but from just like where do I have him ranked in general, I'm not gonna lie, I still think he's like a top 4, top 3 player in this league. I still think he is when he's actually utilized properly and being able to can actually play legitimate basketball. I still think he's that caliber of player. And I don't being like me trying to take that away from him after like a year of this will be pretty disingenuous because 22 happened and then we seen what happened when he got into the postseason and was able to maximize himself against the Boston Celtics and other rounds as well. So if
I'm curious how Denver feels too with this, because I've been hearing this a whole lot, KB. To me, I feel like Luka and Shea have probably been more consistently better than him for the entire year.
No, yeah, I'm saying this year in particular. If you want to say Luka and SGA have been better than him, I don't mind you saying that because from a consistency standpoint, they have been. But
Yeah,
I'm saying just from a best player in the world, like how I just rank it,
right.
not just from a year by year perspective, I still think that he's better than SGA. Now the
You know, he
Luka
came in being,
conversation,
I would say, either 2 or 1 at the beginning of the year. Most people had Jokic 1. He came in for me 2. I would say so far he's probably still in that range. I still think if I'm just doing it off of this season, I think he's probably like the 3rd best point guard in the league behind Luka and Shea.
yeah,
After that, like I don't think I would take Jalen Brunson, Trey, or
no,
Tyrese over
that's
Steph.
no. That's just that's egregious. I'm not even gonna lie. I still argue the Shea SGA thing because some days I flip flop about it when I'm watching Shea and I'm watching SGA. I'm like, I think Steph might be still be playing better than this man. But
All
like
right,
it is
Denver,
what
where do you think he is?
give credit to SGA. He's been playing amazing.
I mean, yeah, because like I feel like a big part of that is also just the All-Star selections and them being voted a starter over him. But I feel like one of the things that's kind of propelling him is him being so clutch because like you said, here, hold on. I got 157 clutch points, 32 of those are free throws. So even if all of those were taken away, he would still be leading by almost 20 points because he is leading clutch points by 51. And the next highest is DeMar DeRozan with 106. By the way, in terms of efficiency in the clutch, he is 52% from the field, 48 from 3, 97 on
That is
free
crazy.
throws.
97 is wild. Jeez.
He's almost
He's
50,
winning.
40, 90 in the clutch.
He only missed and he took 20. How many free throws did he take in the clutch? 20,
33.
right? Something like that.
33. He's
33?
32 for 33. Yeah.
Jeez. My God, bro. That's crazy, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Shout out 30, bro. He's
But yeah, like you said, like dudes like Shea have been more consistent throughout the season, which is why they were voted All-Star over him or All-Star starter over him. So that part I kind of understand, but these last few games
he's
have
been
been
really
just
he has been
he's
on
kind of
on
swinging
tear.
swinging the pendulum back.
Another player to highlight that we need to speak about really quickly is Jonathan Kuminga. Now, through Steph's his ongoing scoring, his situation of him being just elite for these last 11 games, Kuminga has also been stepping it up tremendously since he cut his hair or since he told Steve Kerr that he's losing faith in him. He's been on a tear offensively. From a rim finishing, rim running, being able to put rim pressure like as a post player, he's been tremendous on all levels of that. And defensively, he's been everything we needed to be as a POA help side. He's been doing a lot of work on both ends of the floor. And I'm glad Steve Kerr has finally put trust into him because not just like a month ago or like a month and a bit ago, he was still like out of the rotation, like barely getting any minutes, not being able to be fully maximized on his team. And I still think with some of these lineups that he's putting out, it's not even helping Kuminga, but he's still thriving, which is so surprising to me because when you play him with like Kawhi Looney, that completely tanks what he's trying to do offensively, but he still somehow manages to be impactful. So shout out to Kuminga. He's been absolutely balling right beside Steph. I by far a top 3 player on this team. I don't want to say he's been better than Draymond because what Draymond is doing is pretty insane. But if you want to argue Kuminga is our second best player, I won't argue with you. But I definitely think he's our 3rd best player at the most. That's still like the lowest I'm putting him.
39% from 3 last 15 games, by the way.
Yeah, I've been looking at his month from I'm just looking at his stretch from December, like the Denver game up until now.
Okay.
He's been averaging 20 points a game, shooting 56% from the field, 77% from the charity strike.
That's such a big stretch, by the way, to do that from December to now. That's very impressive.
That's a massive impressive. So legitimately being a
Yeah.
20-point per game scorer for like the past month and a half has been like his vibe the whole time. And even if I were to narrow it down to like this past 12 games, or these past 12 games, he's been averaging 24 points a game, shooting 59% from the field, 44% from 3 on 2.5 attempts, and 77% at the line, while also averaging a steal and half a block. So it's like he's
not even like he's nowhere near as good as he can be, and he's putting that up.
That's the part that is like
that's
so
crazy,
scary
bro.
to me, is that he could be way better than this, and he's already putting up this level of production on his team just off of the sheer fact that he could finish so well. So it's like, if you have the ability to finish like this, if you have the ability to play in the post like this, but you work on your handle, and you work on being in a pick and roll, and you work on having counters, and then you work on your mid-range even more, even though you actually been shooting pretty well from the mid-range this season, you would be a way better player. And it's actually crazy to me, because as raw as he is right now, you can see the level of impact on this team. And I'm glad that he's taken this 30-year leap.
Yeah.
Like, we really needed it, because obviously Steph and Draymond are going to show up every night. I think like when you need them at the most, they will be there for you. Wiggins has been very shaky this year. Clay has been inconsistent as well. Some of your other role players you can't rely on every night because they're role players. But the fact that Kuminga could come in and give you a clear positive 20 points while being a complete positive on the other end of the defensive side of the ball is just so vital to what this team needs. It's so vital. And I'm glad he's just taken this leap, because this is something that we really needed from him to start this stretch that we're on. And speaking of stretches, B-Pods has actually been like I'm not gonna lie to you, like I was checking his numbers and stuff. He's been actually
his floor game has been ridiculous on a night basis, bro.
It's been ridiculous from B-Pods as well. He's a rookie. Sorry, my mom is doing something in the back, bro. I was tweaking out for a second. He's a rookie, pretty much essentially getting double doubles like consistently, and it's
rebound double-doubles, not assist double-doubles.
At 6. Like, he's been playing really good basketball, and it's another case of another player where it's like, you can be way better as well. Like, you could also be insane. Like, he's a player who's a good pull-up shooter in college, a good off-ball shooter, can create in the pick and roll, has a good floater. I think the only negative about his game is the fact that he's just a slower guard. He's not as quick, so it's harder for him to create that separation. But this is also something that like you can develop. You can get quicker. You can work on yourself to at least have a better first step. So I think that's going to be something to work on in the offseason.
Yeah.
But no one expected him to be this level of defender coming in. Like, even the scouts who were like scouting him in the NBA and giving him his player comps or whatever, no one expected him to be this good of a defender, because he's actually pretty laterally sound. Like, the fact that you're that laterally sound, weird, like your first step and your speed isn't anything too crazy, it's pretty funny. But like, shout out B-Pods.
His IQ, by the way, like the way that he just understands the right reason to make. The fact that Kerr trusted him to inbound the ball last night, and I watched it back, and it's crazy because you heard Doris Burke, which I like Doris Burke, but the fact that she was so awful in that game, the way he curved the pass was to make sure the defense couldn't quite get to it, and it put Steph in a position to be able to grab it and shoot it. Like his floor game on a night-to-night basis, the fact that I can look up and say, oh, B-Pods had 12 rebounds, not surprised. That is crazy. That's crazy to me, bro. We need that from him. If he can just get better at shooting the ball and catching and shooting with confidence, that is the only thing that I would tweak about his game. Other than that, I like his processing on a night-to-night basis.
Yeah, his processing has been really good for this team. Like, he's been a pretty solid initiator this year as well. And I just think that for a team that like needs another secondary ball handler, like, he can become this. Like, obviously Kuminga becoming the scorer that he is very much needed. But Kuminga is still the type of player where like he needs to be, until his self-creation becomes a little better, he needs to be put in places. He needs to be in spots on the floor to be able to do what he does best. And B-Pods, you can be that player for him. You can play alongside with him. You guys can be this duo, this scoring duo off the bench, this offensive duo off the bench for us going forward. And he has that potential. Like I said, a very good shooter. The numbers don't tell it because he's been on a little bit of a slump, but he's like truly in terms of like when you look at his form, when you look at how his feet are set, when you look at the little things, he has no indicators of being a bad shooter, like just none. And he's actually has the percentages also to back it up in terms of accuracy. So B-Pods, man, you have like really high potential for this team. And obviously Kerr believes in you because of how many times you start and close games as well. So I'm actually very impressed with him. Like one of the better rookies in the NBA. I think a top 5 rookie in this league as well. So shout out to B-Pod, shout out to the Warriors development team as well, because that's another thing I want to talk about, bro. We were starting to get the stigma that we were bad at developing guys because of Poole's down year, and James Wiseman not being able to play basketball anywhere, mind you. Like even when he left to Detroit, he's still been asked. But we were starting to get this like stigma of us being like a bad development team when B-Pods has been playing really well. TJD, when actually getting played proper minutes, not these random spurts that Steve Kerr throws at him, has been playing well. Jordan Poole literally went from being the worst player in the association to a 6-man candidate and most improved player of the year in his third year. Kuminga in his third year leap. Moses Moody in his development as a shooter and defender. So it's like, I don't understand how the stigma continued to like, I don't know why it stuck with us, because I feel like our player development is actually really good. But shout out to the coaches, shout out to B-Pods, man. I never thought I'd be this happy on a pod. I'm not gonna lie, because it was looking rough for us, bro. I'll be so honest, bro. It was not looking good for us, bro.
No.
Damn.
Yeah, even during last night's game, I remember when Devin Booker hit the go-ahead shot with like 30 seconds left. I was like, "Oh, we're about to lose."
He literally said that
Yeah,
verbatim.
he did say that. You know, and when Denver said that, that's when I knew we won.
Yeah,
Because
facts.
whenever Denver says something will happen, the opposite will. You feel me? So it's
he
like,
is cursed.
unfortunately, but that's our guy though. So we rock with him to the end. But like, bro,
Going back to Jonathan Kuminga for a second, I just found this out and I just tweeted it. He's currently on a 14 game streak of shooting 50% or better.
14?
14 is crazy. Wow.
Oh my god, bro.
4 for 7, 9 for 12, 10 for 18, 9 for 18, 11 for 11, 12 for 19, 8 for 16, 11 for 19, 11 for 15, 6 for 12, 9 for 18.
That's crazy.
7 for 14, 9 for 16, 9 for 18.
Demon timing. Wow. Demon timing right there, bro. The absolute demon timing right there.
14 games in a row.
Whew. That's crazy.
That's wild. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That game where he went 11 for 11 was crazy because it looked so easy for him to score, bro. He
was
ridiculous.
Shooting too. It wasn't just like at the rim.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out. The core the young core has been playing like substantially well. Now I want to ask y'all something, right?
Okay, what's up?
Because we know the inevitable. Chris Paul
coming back. Yeah.
What do we do in this stretch now? Like what do we do? Because Kuminga's balling. B-Pods is obviously hooping aside from his shooting. Lester Quinones has also been playing really well as well. I forgot to even mention him as well. He's been playing really good for us. I think he's been leading. He's top 4 in 3-pointers made. I don't know if it's this month or in January. It's one of those months. But he's been off the bench as well. Not just in the whole league, but for players off the bench.
Oh, okay, word.
Made, he's 4th.
Wow.
So he's been very well. That's another player where it's crazy how many players I look at and I'll be like, yo, you can be way better than what you are right now, and you're playing really well. Lester Quinones, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if he led the G League in scoring, but he was one of the better G League players in the G League, averaging like 28 a game. I don't know if he won G League MVP, but he was just one of the best G League players in that, like during that time. And for him to be on our team, to be a self-creator, someone who could play in the pick and roll, another guard who could do that, it's just like it's crazy. And it goes back to my question. A really good defender as well, too. Yeah, he's a very solid defender, surprisingly. Like all these guys on our team, I didn't expect to be this solid on ball. And it's actually like pretty funny to me. But I'm happy because if you have a lot of guards that can guard, then you can rely on them a lot more on both ends. Which leads me back to my question.
Yep.
Chris Paul, what does he look like coming back into the rotation? If you're Steve Kerr and you're noticing all these things about these young guys just giving you more substantial minutes, better defensively, things are working and clicking, your bench is still fine. How do you play with this? Like, how do you go forward with Chris Paul and his minutes?
Okay, so I'm gonna be so for real. We know Chris Paul is gonna play. This is something that is absolutely inevitable. I think the casualty of the Chris Paul minutes, I think Lester's minutes are gonna probably get cut or very trimmed down severely. I think Chris Paul is gonna actually bite into some of Clay's minutes as well. I've been noticing for like the past 4 games, Clay's minutes have been dropping. Paz has been closing over Clay recently. I'm not sure how long that's going to sustain, if there is something up with Clay to where he just can't play the minutes anymore, or if he's just choosing to play Paz over him. I think when Chris Paul comes back, man, you're going to see more of him playing the point guard role, which I'm a bit nervous of, because I'll say this. Pods, to me, maybe the way to unlock him as a shooter more is to put him in more of a secondary role to Chris Paul. I've been campaigning all year long, hey, Pods, you should have the ball in your hands to make choices, but we're just not seeing it. Maybe that will unlock his, attack point if he knows that, okay, Chris Paul can do this. My role is to rebound and score in those lineups. It wasn't looking great to start the season. I agree with that, but I just think we know Chris Paul is going to play, so that's going to have to happen. At the same time, though, I think Kerr has to be smart and realize that, hey, if we're going to play Chris Paul, we can't play him like 25 minutes a night, primarily because he just got injured, right? So you don't want him to be hurt for the playoffs. So most likely Chris Paul is going to be on a season-long minutes restriction, probably is going to log maybe 22 to 23 minutes a game. But that's going to really eat away at some of the other minutes of these guys. I'm not going to lie, Moody might be cooked. He might not ever really at all get back in the rotation. And that really sucks for him because he can provide something defensively for our unit, and we're barely seeing him now.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
That's why I said, in my video, and I don't think people understood, bro, you might as well have just traded Moses Moody, because if you're not going to play him anyway, then what's the point of even having him?
That's
he's too good for the G League now. And he's in his 3rd year, so I don't even think he can really play in the G League that much. And then he's just not going to get playing time. There's too many other dudes that are going to be getting minutes over him. So it's what's the point of even having him around on the team anymore?
I just a great point. I have no idea, because for Moses Moody, this is another player where, again, a good 3-point shooter, just a 3-and-D guy, and as a connective piece, as a role player for this team, he's been really good. There's no signs of him not being a caliber player to where you can't rely on him in a playoff scenario from a role player perspective. And
you started him against the Kings.
That's why he was so good in the playoffs last year. Yeah.
So that's why I say, and this is to my point, I don't think this will happen, but this is what I want to happen. I don't think Chris Paul should come back to be able to play games anymore. I think he should suit up, but I don't think he should play. And not as much minutes as he should be playing now, especially because, 1, he's older. 2, you want to retain value, so you give him limited minutes, make his production look better, and try to sell him because he's clearly not going to be. You're not going to re-sign him. There's no way you do, and if you do, you're never winning a championship again. So I think letting Chris Paul sit down, kind of being the Udonis Haslem of this team per se, and allowing Moses Moody to try to get more minutes. It's kind of been unfair for him because guys like Lester have come in and been really impactful, and it's just hard to find minutes. You cut Corey Joseph, but now you have Lester, GP2, Moses Moody, B-Pods, Steph, and Clay. You have 6 guards on this team, and you have to manage all of their minutes. Now, do I know who should be getting less minutes out of all 6? Yeah. Will they? No, but it's the matter of the situation, right? And for I think one of y'all bring up Clay. He's been recently stinking it up. I'm not gonna lie. No,
I will say though, right.
Definitely been playing some basketball.
Yeah. He has absolutely been doing that, but I gotta say, I did not expect his defense to look as good as it did last night. That was very impressive.
Yeah, defensively, he started off the game very strong. I do agree. And I feel like just during the game, there were stretches where I'm not gonna lie. There were stretches during this game when he was playing where I genuinely did not feel his presence like at all. Like I didn't even know he was.
I agree. I agree.
And I remember when it was as soon as Denver said, "Oh, Klay Thompson's on the floor," and the offense got better and his ball's moving. And I'm just like, just wait for it, bro. And he watched Klay Thompson just become invisible. It was pretty funny, but he's been not playing some of his better basketball as of late. If I just do like, I'm about to just click on a random stretch right now, where in his last 12 games, he's been averaging 16 points, shooting 39% from the field, 36% from three on 9 attempts, but 93% at the line on 1 free throw. So, he's been playing terrible. Has a plus-minus of a -2. I've been saying it, chat, and obviously I think Denver and Gifted are going to disagree, but I don't think he should be getting as much minutes as he should be getting. Like I think he should be getting as much as Loon. I think that in certain stints, B-Pods, Lester, GP2, Moses Moody are a lot more viable to go to. Yes, Klay. I'm talking about Klay. And is there situations where Klay is going to be needed? I think so, but I just think that
he said Looney.
Yeah. I think 15 minutes, 18 minutes is like
that's not even Looney.
That's not how many minutes he's been playing though.
Oh, my bad. I guess Looney was a little bit damn. My bad. I apologize. 15 minutes, like what Corey Joseph was getting.
He probably shouldn't be starting, but
I said this he shouldn't be. I'm not gonna lie. He should not be starting. B-Pod should start over him. And I also think Moses Moody should like at least be attempted to get more runtime as well. You also have GP2 to play too. So it's like,
bro, yeah, GP2 and Chris Paul coming back. This shit about to get crazy in a minute.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's looking more glaring as to who minutes should be getting cut. And I think, hopefully, I'm praying Steve Kerr is slowly realizing who Klay Thompson is now. I'm not saying who he is all his career, but I'm talking about now.
I'm just curious if like his defense can continue to be at a better clip. Because again, that's just the way that he was getting switched on to KD, also Nurkic, like he was guarding the size much better. If he can play that type of role to where, hey, there's elite shot making variance with solid enough defense, I think 20 minutes to 24 for him based on his injuries and how old he is could make a ton of sense within our team.
Yeah, I think that role would be fine, but 15 to 18 I think is better. 24 is a bit crazy. 24 is like, 24 is I ain't feeling that. The defense though, I don't think I'm not gonna say it's not sustainable. I think for Klay's defense, on ball he's cooked. Off ball is also cooked, but the only thing I'll say that is still there is his post defense, is because it doesn't really require a lot of crazy movement, a lot of strength in upper body, like core stuff, and he still has that. That's why when he was defending KD, defending Devin Booker in the post, he wasn't really moving that much, and that's why we were so impressed because his post defense is there, and I think he'll stay there. But everything else defensively, just not. I'll be honest with you. Like anytime he has to guard a quicker guard, someone who plays face up more, someone who doesn't have their back to the basket as much, he's getting fried. And I've watched it countless times for that to happen. And yeah, Klay, I think I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna stand on it. Klay should not be starting for this team anymore. There's too many good guards for you to play actually over Klay Thompson at the moment, especially because I said this again, and he's been doing it for the past 12 games. When his shooting is not there, when he's not,
it's not much value he's giving you.
When his shooting is not hitting, there is not a lot of value that you're getting out of Klay Thompson. And if he's not scorching hot, even then, it's still not crazy amount of value because the scoring gravity, the advantage creating is not going to be of use because he can't make a pass to the advantage that is being created as consistently. And I just think like
unless it's Trey Jackson on the floor, because then every time he'll do it.
Well, obviously you can hit that because the reason I noticed this too. Trey Jackson Davis. This is one negative that I have for him. You set too many go screens. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
Way too many go screens, bro.
When you set a screen, you don't set the screen to create separation. You set the screen to roll and get to the basket.
Yeah, and I'm glad he sets the screen already with like, I'm gonna slip the screen. Just, like in
like I don't understand why he does that. Like you as a player should know when Steph is coming off these ball screens, when Klay is, when other shooters are. You gotta set the screen so that their separation. You're always one thing he has to realize is that you're always gonna have the ability to roll because most of the time 2 is gonna get sent to Steph. You feel me? So you're gonna have the opportunity to roll. That's why when Looney, when he was setting screens, he was such a good screen setter to the point that even though he was slower at his rolling, he was still able to create the advantage, obviously because of Steph, but the separation that he got on the screen just allowed him and his slowness to kind of just still be at advantage. You're quick. Just set the screen hard enough and you still have enough of that speed to be able to separate yourself. So I think that's something he needs to work on. But point aside, Klay Thompson, 15 to 18 minutes, bench roll. Let's make this happen. You feel me? Because he's not the caliber of player anymore to be a starting level caliber of player on a nightly basis for this team. And I just think that even shooting aside, which to be honest with you has kind of regressed, he's just not bringing that much value. And this happens. I'm not saying it to hate. I'm not saying it to like be like, Klay is shitty. Fuck Klay. Like it happens when you have 2 catastrophic injuries and you're trying to come back and compete for a title. It happens when you want to help your team, but you're going in your own way because you never worked on things to actually help your team and adjust your game going forward. And when things like this happen with you, you tend to become a bit, I don't want to say selfish, but you become like disgruntled in a way and discouraged, and you just like are fighting it. I think Klay should just embrace this role. He should just come off the bench and just be that guy for the Dubs as well, and play with Kuminga. Like that you and Kuminga have been solid together. And yeah, I think that would be the best thing going forward for the Warriors. I'm not gonna lie, because we need more minutes out of these young guys, and they've been playing substantially better than Klay Thompson, in my opinion. So, yeah.
I just don't think that Klay Thompson is. I don't think it's enough. I think we have too many minutes to allocate, and even if you do cut Klay's minutes, okay, you still have to factor in GP, Chris Paul, Dario, maybe Lester, Trace, Moody. A lot of these guys just aren't going to play once we get to the playoffs. If we get there,
it's matchup dependent though. If you think about it, because my biggest I'll give Steve Kerr credit here is that you have a lot of guards who are capable of playing on this team and being positive rotational guys. But like you have 6 of you have 5 you have 4 guards on this team who are like really like extreme positives, extreme positives. I didn't include Chris or Klay, guys. Okay, so I'm sorry, but you have 4 guards who are clear positives. One obviously being Steph. His minutes are never going to get touched. We just know that. I think B-Pods, Moody, Lester, GP2, these guys are like really good role players, again, to say. And I just think that every single one of them brings something similar, but they also have something different about them in their game. And I just think from a situational standpoint, depending on the matchup, that's when you play certain guys. I can understand certain situations where, for example, GP2 might not be as useful on the floor because yes, his POA is really good, and I think GP2 when healthy is a top 3 POA in this league. I genuinely think that Caruso and McDaniels are the only better POAs than him. Yes, do I think GP2 a healthy GP2?
Derek White's better than him.
No.
Yeah.
GP2 is a better POA than Derek White.
No, he's not.
When healthy, yes, he is.
No,
he is.
You're wrong.
I've seen him guard wings. He's been a wing stopper.
Have you seen Derek White this season?
A better screen navigator. Yeah,
better screen navigator than Derek White.
Yes, I'm standing on this take. You guys don't understand how good of a defender GP2 is. I
do. He's good. He's just not better than Derek White.
You don't. There's only 2 defenders in this league as a POA better than him, bro. He's GP2.
Hey, Fire. What did you think about that?
He said, "Bro, you're lying."
No. Derek White's a good argument for sure, but I still think GP2. This is what I'm chat. A healthy GP2. This is my asterisk. Healthy GP2 top 3 POA.
Yeah, in 14 minutes a night, sure. Okay. All right.
Nah, but yeah, top 3 POA in the league. But this is all I'm saying is just to wrap up the point. You have a lot of capable guards, a lot of rotational players. What Steve Kerr, I think, is thinking here is that it's going to be situational for him going forward about who to play and who to play with. And even when we talk about like these 4 guard lineups, like like now that I think about it, there isn't really a lot of forwards on this team. Like you have Draymond, Wiggins, Kuminga, TJD. Like you have a lot more guards than forwards on this team. And Looney, sorry, that's 5. But just some of the forwards are also just not as good as they are this year too. Like via Looney, right? So it's tough. I think for Steve Kerr going forward, like I said,
Pat Bev.
get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Pat Bev is a funny troll.
Hey man, but listen, I was talking about this on stream the other day too because I wanna talk about this as well. Is if we make it to the playoffs, who is a matchup y'all think we could beat?
I'm so far from thinking about playoffs.
No, I want to. No. I know. Game. Like, listen.
Damn.
Hear me out.
Shit, Sacramento again. They haven't been playing.
If we play,
as well
if
this
we
season.
get into the postseason, right? If we make it, I just go with me with this hypothetical. If we're just there, what is a matchup y'all think we can beat or compete with? Have a solid chance to.
So let me see. We got Minnesota, Clippers, Denver, OKC, Sacktown, Phoenix. Honestly, Sacramento and Phoenix might be the only teams that I would like confidently say.
This might sound crazy, but I like the OKC matchup for Golden State
because Dallas is a fake 8 seed. We know that they're gonna finish way higher than after the deadline.
I know, like
Gifted said it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't want to say this, but I think the OKC matchup works with Golden State because
it does.
I'm sorry, bro. Bro, when I've seen Draymond in that matchup, Steph, first off, torches their defense. Draymond is a great defender in that matchup, and they're not overly oversized like the other teams are.
And I'm not gonna lie, Lou Dort and Josh Giddey are getting played off like they're not
on
playing
God
in that series.
On God,
if you play both of them, we're winning that series. Another team that I was.
If Lou Dort shoots 5 for 5 from 3,
nah, he's not doing it.
He's not. You know, no facts.
If that's true. That's true. That would mean Kuminga is also 5 for 5 as well. That's what we're talking.
Talk about it.
But another team that I was arguing with Wolves in 6 with, and I'm not gonna lie, this is a harder team, a substantially harder team to beat because of just how we match up with them. But I do think we do have like a chance. I'm saying a chance to beat, right? Is the Wolves. I'm not gonna lie. The Wolves, if we were to,
there's a chance. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard, but there is a chance. I see why you would say that. I wouldn't say the Wolves at all, but I can see why you would. You know,
the reason why I say this, right, is because I think the Wolves are a good team. I think the Wolves are an elite defensive team, but offensively, they're ass. I'm not gonna lie to you. And in a postseason setting, relying on Ant in the postseason where we don't know what he's gonna look like, it's a bit shaky. Cat shaky. Rudy, offensively shaky. McDaniels relying on his self-creation, very shaky.
I think the biggest problem with the Wolves is like their offense isn't reliable enough down the stretch. Like they really rely heavily on Mike Conley being their guy to help get them into good shots. But the defense for them is extremely reliable, and they just have a lot more depth than the other teams.
This is my main point. Is that guys like Kyle Anderson wouldn't be able to play in that series significantly because I think the fact that he is a very slow-footed non-spacer as well would hurt him. And on top of that, our offense in the postseason, obviously, is a lot of Steph on-ball creating. But I think in this series in particular, we would up the pace tremendously with this team. Because we wouldn't want to play them in half court a lot because it would just be a lot harder to score. But there's 2 things to look at for the Warriors to be able to get what they want. Is to hunt Cat on switches or pick and rolls to get the defense in rotation. And 2, get Rudy Gobert out of the lanes. If you could get Rudy Gobert out of the lanes to show for 3, you can essentially get all your pain points at that point. Because the second side rim protection is Cat, and that nigga ain't blocking shit, respectfully. So I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I think the Wolves are the better team. I do think they are more realistic to beat us. But do we have a shot? Yes. Bro, I think we do. I genuinely think we do.
I'd rather take OKC than Wolves for me, though.
Yeah, I would rather because the size difference is a bit annoying.
Yeah,
like, that would be annoying as hell. But if we play with pace and we play in space, and also I'm not gonna lie, I think Kuminga in some of those games would give Rudy Gobert a lot of foul trouble for just getting to the basket and trying to finish. I could see a world where he like puts a lot of these guys in foul trouble, bro. I don't like the matchup because of size, But bro, the Minnesota Timberwolves offense is actually like bad. Like it's not that good, bro.
I
And
think what makes it tough though is that we know that to play in that type of matchup, we're gonna have to have Trace or Looney play more minutes, and if that's the case, there's gonna be
Trace more
lineups.
minutes. I'm here for it.
No, but like I'm telling you now, Looney's gonna be playing in that lineup because
should.
physically he matches up better with
Cat.
Gobert.
Oh,
Right.
Not. I think I'm not gonna lie. This is a series, yo, Clay. You might cook because this is a series where you're not gonna be on ball that much, and two,
For sure.
I'm not gonna lie. Chat, call me crazy. I'm cool with throwing Clay on Cat defensively. I'm dead ass. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. And the reason being is because as a defender for Clay, that's his best attribute, post defense. 2, he's strong. 3, Cat is not as strong as majority of the bigs in the league. And 4, it's actually pretty easy to deny Cat his spots. It's something he's been struggling with for a lot of these years.
You're gonna let Cat get his first good playoff series.
No. There's obviously gonna be shading. Like you're gonna shade over off of like McDaniels or something like that. Like there's
Bro, I would much rather have a deep dive on OKC than the Wolves, bro.
No, but I'm saying there's a chance. I'm not gonna lie. I think we can beat the Wolves too, bro. I'll be honest. Bro. No, Kate, I don't understand Wolves in 6. I don't know who you think.
Bro, Cat has been so good, man.
Yes,
I hear what you're saying.
This is the postseason. First,
I know.
He still struggles in the postseason, bro. I watched Marcus Morris lock him up in the play-in. Are we serious? Come on, bro. Like I don't believe in Clay that much, but if he could, I believe in Clay enough to lock up Cat in the post at least. That's pretty much it. And you have, bro. There's not like, aside from Mike Conley as well, there is not a lot of good passers on this team neither, bro. Like Cat's an improved one, but that's it. So this
I just feel like the main points for the Wolves is that offensively they're not consistent. I just feel like with OKC, there's a lot more weaker links to be able to speak to with that team compared to the Wolves in terms of size.
And they don't have as much size neither. Like the size differential.
The only thing I'm thinking of right now, KB, is we have Looney on the floor because they have 2 bigs out there, and then you have Kuminga, and now they're going to be camping out in the paint. Gobert is going to be in the paint, so Kuminga's effectiveness for the series might not be as great as it could be because offensively we'll be going up against a set defense. We might get out in transition a bit more, but I just think defensively they move me a lot more than what OKC does. OKC, I think they can be very, in
that series, I think Trace just would have to play more. I think Kevon Looney is a much better rebounder, but in that series in particular, because Trace can get the ball off a defensive rebound and go, that would just make more sense for us going forward because
but physically he's not going to be able to match up with Gobert for a whole series.
We're still going to gang.
He will get killed on the glass.
We're not going to let TJD like get out rebounded by himself. We played the Memphis Grizzlies in 2022, which was another elite offensive rebounding team with 2 bigs and a pretty sizable team as well. And we were actually able to beat them on the glass as well because of gang rebounding. So like, I think those styles and that like ideology could still get implemented for this team. And I think that with TJD as well, being able to just push the pace with him, he could catch the ball and go. Like he could dribble.
He's not playing, bro. We know this.
No, I'm saying in a world if he does play, and I think he should. I'm not saying it will happen though, but I think that in that sense it can. And you can still push I'm not gonna lie. Looney has been bad this year, but we played with him so long that bro, you can still push the pace with Looney even if he's in the backcourt. It doesn't matter. Like the whole point of the series to me is that you get stops, obviously, and you crash. Your main priority is crash the glass and go. That's it. If you do that for majority of the series, you win. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna be so real, chat. Listen. I'm banning all playoff talks until we're solidly in the play-in.
No, yeah, I like
where we at. I like where we at.
I'm not gonna lie, bro.
I'm trying to go one game at a time, bro.
No, I'm going one game at a time too. But y'all know me, bro. I'm saying if we make it there. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, chat. If we do end up making it there, I'm not gonna say I'll be unbearable because like I'll still be realistic.
And now you will be unbearable. I know you will be unbearable.
No. I'm not gonna be unbearable.
You will 100% be unbearable. It's okay.
I won't be unbearable. Because I'll still like talk about the other team fairly. I'll just be more delusional.
JT real quick.
Because the thing is about this team is that yes, like it's the Warriors. They've been unserious. They've been unserious for some time. Bro, if we make it to the postseason, the delusion that will kick in is crazy. Because I'm not gonna lie. I'm not betting on nobody else besides Steph and Draymond in any other series, bro. Like they have shown me countless times, even in certain instances where it's not really favorable for them, that they've came out on top. And I can't bet against that, bro. Even if these niggas are getting old, bro, I can't do that, bro. If we are the AC, we get to see Jokic. Warriors in 6. I'm gonna stand by. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like that's the type of time that I will be on.
All right, bro. So our next game, Monday.
No, but that's just the type of delusion, though. Is what I'm saying. Do I believe?
Right. I hear. Right. I hear everything you say.
Before you kind of move on and be nasty.
I don't subscribe to this belief.
No, it's fine. That's fine. Now I'm saying this is the type of delusion that I'm subscribed to. Now, do I believe in it?
You need to unsubscribe.
Do I believe in it? Do I think it's realistic? Hell, fucking no. But I'm gonna be delusional though. You feel me? Like that's just the type of time that I'm on with the Warriors in the postseason. Now, when it's not April, hey, I'll be as realistic as they come. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll be as objective as they come, bro.
Okay. So listen. In terms of going back to what we spoke on last week, I was saying that the stretch we have coming up is going to be very, very tough. We went undefeated. I don't think anyone called undefeated. I had 3-1. I did not think we would win every single game, but we did. We now have 3 games: Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Utah, Clippers, Utah. I'm not gonna lie. There is a very realistic shot that they can go 3-0 in that stretch. What are your thoughts on the next upcoming 3 games before the next podcast?
Wait, are we doing a pod on All-Star Weekend? Not even. It's funny enough that.
I mean, it's 3 games. We can do one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we can. Yeah.
It ain't gonna be that long anyway. So
yeah, I'm not. It shouldn't. Chat. I'm gonna stick with my guts. 1-3, and the 1 win is against the Clippers. That's what we need. I'm not gonna lie. Now,
right, so you said 1-3. Okay.
No, 1 and 2. Sorry,
1 and 2.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm tweaking. I thought the LA game was also in the same week. But yeah, do I want? I don't know, chat. It's just I seen Denver's tweet about this team is starting to make me believe, and I'm falling in that same line as well. But
KB getting cooked, man.
because it's been a decent sample, bro. But like, I don't know. It's. The Utah Jazz is a very beatable team, but you can't say that with the Warriors. You can't be like.
You can't say that with the Warriors.
I can't go into games like
I know.
Like even when we played Brooklyn, when we played Philly with legit no one, when we played Memphis, I couldn't even say comfortably.
They were dogfights.
These should be wins. Nah, Memphis wasn't really, but like I don't know. I want us to go 3-0.
And they're both on the road too, man.
I think we can go 3-0. But what's gonna make this tough is just, bro, like the Warriors have to play serious, and they have been. Credit to them, but like, oh my god, bro, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna be optimistic here. I think we'll go 2-1. I think what will happen is we will lose one of the Utah matchups. I don't know which one, but we'll lose one of them, and we'll win the LA one. I'm confident. I need the LA. I'm not gonna lie to you. I need the LA.
Now the LA one's a big one, man.
That's just, you need the Clipper win, because I'm not gonna lie.
It's a big one.
Some niggas were talking shit to me in GCs and shit. Some Clipper fans, some Harden lovers. You feel me? I fuck with Harden too. I'm gonna need a belt to ass against LA on February on Valentine's Day. I need a Valentine's Day massacre, chat. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm gonna be so real with y'all, bro. The way I looked at the 2 Utah games and also the Clippers, I thought this stretch was going to be very, very hard for the Warriors. I did. The fact that we won every game, we beat the Pacers, we beat Suns. Both of those teams were healthy when we played them, and we went 4-0 in that stretch. To me, I look at these games differently now for the sole reason that the Jazz, while they're still one of the best teams in the league so far and have been extremely hot, they traded a lot of their good players. There's no more Kelly Olynyk. There's no more Simone Fontecchio. They have many players that were, cogs of what they were doing that have been traded out, which makes you believe that they're starting to try to bottom out now that they've been really competitive. Now, what makes it hard to call this, though, is the fact that both of these games, exactly, Ochai too, but both of these games are on the road. And the Jazz at home are a very dangerous team. I saw them go from being down 10 versus the Bucks with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter to winning the game by 16. Right, yeah. Like I saw that happen. So it's gonna be tough, but I do think that the Warriors can beat the Jazz based off the players that they have lost.
No,
Now, the
yeah.
Clippers
Do I
game
think
is hard.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the Warriors could go 3-0 comfortably in the stretch. I genuinely
It's
believe that.
possible. It really is possible.
I think they
I
can.
don't think that's crazy to say.
But I just know my team, and I know how unserious they can get. So I'm going 2-1 to be safe.
Yeah.
I need them to come out positive in the stretch. If you go 3-0 again, this will be a huge stretch for you. Going 7-0 before the All-Star break, and then you have another stretch where you see LA and Denver. So it's like,
and then after that, your schedule gets remarkably easier.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Your schedule, like, if I go,
the Jazz are 7th in offensive rating at home.
Yeah,
in the league.
Top 7. Yeah, top 7, bro.
Fuck, man, I hate these shitty teams that just be really nice at home and shit, bro.
Oh, and by the way, Denver, don't forget, we don't win this season if we go into overtime on the road.
That's crazy. Yeah, so chat, even after that's
okay.
Even after the All-Star break, we still have LA, Denver, New York, and then we have Boston and Milwaukee as well. So it's like,
I'm not gonna lie, Chicago, then San Antonio back to back. That's a good little 3 stretch right there.
I ain't gonna lie.
Milwaukee
This
back
is
to back.
Look at this. I'm not gonna lie. You got
insane.
Chicago, San Antonio, Dallas is crazy, and then you got New York,
Dallas, LA, New York is a little tough.
Dallas, LA, New York.
Really
then
dumb.
you got Memphis, and like, bro, you got a schedule on you, bro. I'm not gonna. We see Dallas again.
We see Dallas and LA again.
Damn. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Strength of schedule is pretty easy. No cap. I'll be honest with you. These teams can get
it's doable.
So do your job, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all stream the All-Star events. I will not be here Saturday. That's the thing, though. I will not be here Saturday. I'll be here Sunday, though. But then for the game, I will not be here. Actually, yeah, I won't be here. I'm not gonna lie. I won't be here. I'm not gonna count.
Are you saying for All-Star break?
You said what?
You said you won't be here Saturday?
Saturday.
Are we playing Saturday?
No, we don't. During the All-Star break, there's no games, right?
That's the what's it called? 3-point contest and all that stuff.
The 3-point and dunk contest.
Oh, that's the Steph versus Sabrina.
Yeah. I think we only go live next week for like the podcast on Sunday, but there's no actual Gold-Blooded stream until they come back to play.
I think I'll stream. Yeah, I think I might as well just stream All-Star Saturday on mine then.
Yeah. It's up to you. It's up to y'all. But Saturday I will not be here because I do have family coming over, so it will be that will be kind of tough. But to go back to the schedule,
that's so stupid. They gave us a game in Boston and then gave us a game versus Milwaukee at home, literally across the country.
Yeah, that's bad travel right there.
That's insane. We have to travel to Boston and fly all the way back to Milwaukee. That's wow. I don't know who made the schedule, bro. Even like the Utah, LA, and then back to Utah again, which is crazy. But
that shit is crazy.
Understandably slow. I don't know why they couldn't like put one of the Utah games in the back end of the schedule. It would have been better for us, but it is what it is.
Or at least just made it like a baseball series. Just play in Utah twice and then play LA.
Yeah, we could have done that as well because flying to Utah and then flying back to San Francisco, then flying back to Utah.
It just feels so extra.
Then just to come back to San Francisco again to play the Lakers is funny as fuck. So like, I don't know, bro. I don't know, but yeah, Chad. I predict 2-1. I think we lose. Okay, I'll say this. I think we lose this last meeting against Utah before the break, and I think we win in Utah first, and then we win against LA. But the most important game for me is LA. I'm not gonna lie, Chad. If we lose to Utah twice, tough. But if we beat LA, I'm happy. I'm happy, man. I ain't gonna lie.
So like most weeks, I just try to go off of what I think. I think the safe play is to hedge and say they'll go 2-1. You could say 1-2, and I wouldn't be really surprised by that either. But I generally believe that with the momentum that this team has, with GP coming back and playing that good of defense, and with Brandon and Clay not really knocking down shots, I think something's got to give. I think we go 3-0. I do believe that. Now, they might not do it, but I'm not going to play it safe. I think these games are the games that are there for the taking. The Clippers are a absolutely very, very good team, but I think we can really get this going, especially with what Jonathan Kuminga has been in terms of applying rim pressure to the defense. I think he's going to be a very key piece in these 3 games. So I'm going to say 3-0. I'm fine to be wrong, but I generally believe that this team can win all 3 of these games. I do believe that.
That's fair. I believe they can too. I also believe they can lose all 3. This team is very unserious.
Yes, they can lose all 3 too.
So I'm
Yes,
not
they
gonna lie.
can.
Anything is realistic with this team. I'll be honest with you, bro.
When we beat the Clippers, we will be the 6th seed. Hey, listen, I hear you. I hear you on that.
We beat the Clippers, we will be the 6th seed at the end of the season. Who would be the 3rd seed? Let me stop with the playoff talk. Let me let me stop with the playoff talk. But no, chat 3-0 is very realistic. Have we talked? Oh, last time we were here, the trade deadline didn't happen, right?
Yes.
No.
So I want to talk about this really quick, just non-words.
Sure.
That's all real quick. So how do y'all feel about some of the moves that are just being made like around the league?
Great moves. Great moves. I feel like the Mavericks won it for me. I said that turning Grant Williams, who was a bad contract and a very awkward teammate, trading him to get PJ Washington and Gafford, who make your front court drastically better. Like, now Luka has 4 guys that he can just spam lobs to for the entire game if he wanted to. And also letting Kyrie lead the second unit with those guys. PJ being able to catch the ball, attack closeouts, get fouled, and also how they're turning him into a solid defender as well. Gafford with his blocking shots ability and the types of lobs he's able to catch compared to the other bigs Luka's had to play with. Not to mention, we haven't even seen Lively back into the mix with that. That's a dangerous team. I said coming in for Dallas, I thought that they could be a good team, but their front court was questionable, and not having like a true 3 wing who can like shot create or create for others would hurt them. But the fact that Luka and Kyrie are just that talented together offensively with the shooting that they have, shoring up the front court makes them a way more dangerous team. I think this team is a title contender because of that now for me. So I was very high on everything Dallas did. They still have to put things all the way together, but to their credit, they've made it this far into the season without really being healthy. A lot of their guys just have not been in the lineup, and they're starting to get healthy now with better pieces coming in. So I was very high on them.
That's fair. I made a video on the trade videos just in general on my main channel as well. And I think that for the Dallas Mavericks, they definitely, to me, won the trade deadline. They got substantially better. Like adding Daniel Gafford, a veteran big man who has the ability to rim protect, be a lob threat. His rebounding ability is really underrated as well. I think he's one of the better rebounders in our association at his position.
He's top 20 in blocks over the last 4 years too.
Yeah, he's a really good center, like a very, very good center to pair with Luka. And the fact that you already have Derek Lively, who is a rookie that has a lot of upside this year as well, just playing next to Luka, and you've added another center that is very capable as well, is dangerous for this team because size at the 5 and was a bit of an issue for them, and they answered it significantly. The next question was the size at the 4 and the wings, and then they answered it as well by adding PJ Washington as well.
Such a crazy ad.
I think this team's defensive potential is through the roof. Obviously, you have to wait and see how it looks because when Jason Kidd had all those wings and not really that much of a big around his switch defense kind of thing with a lot of zone, it was really good. From like January of 2022 to the postseason, they had like the second best defense in the association. When the Celtics made that turnaround and everyone was starting to notice how good they were, the Dallas Mavericks did the same thing as well, where they had this big turnaround. They were winning games, and defensively they look really good, and they just allowed Luka to cook. And it could be a similar situation as well. But on top of that, the fact that Luka just gotten better offensively alongside having a secondary of Kyrie with the lob threats that you have, it just, I'm not going to lie. If this team pans out and the people and these players pan out the way it does, the Dallas Mavericks are a series contender, bro. I genuinely believe that. They are a team that you do not want to see in a 7-game series. Like, even Luka aside with some of these other players. Like, a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr. could go into a series, impact average 18 on clear positive efficiency, be a clear impact for a team. Kyrie Irving, we know how good he is as a secondary alongside a generational talent like LeBron or someone like Luka. So we know what kind of player he can be with Luka Doncic. And defensively, like you have a lot of great pieces: Derek Jones Jr., PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively. Some people disagree with Josh Green being not that great of a POA. I can understand why, but he's not a complete negative. So you have a lot of great pieces on this team. Now, the only negative I'll say is that the spacing is kind of a little bit, because PJ Washington is a terrible corner three-point shooter. He's actually one of the worst at his position. And non-corner threes, he's bad as well. Mid-range, he's solid, but the space will be eaten up by Lively and Gafford being in the lanes. And so, yeah, Luka's getting, like, I think Luka will generate 4v3s, but at the same time, I don't know how much of it will be feasible if Daniel Gafford can't make the pass every time, or Daniel Gafford starts to just get challenged at the rim and people are daring him to finish. So
Yeah,
it's
he's like the guy that is better at like making the pass out of the short roll than Gafford is. But I also think that Gafford is a bit more physically in tune with the game than Lively is. They have like two different styles of big, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. So like for Gafford, I just don't know like who's gonna. It was like it's similar to like the Warriors where like Kevon Looney was running that pick and roll all the time and he would just make the short roll pass, and then teams would realize, okay, why are we playing this nigga like he can finish? Let's dare him to finish. And they realized he started just making less layups. I don't think that's gonna happen to Gafford, but it could be a situation where they just dare Gafford to try to make the to finish with contact, right?
Yep.
Instead of trying to make the pass. So it could be that kind of situation. But when you have a generational offensive player in Luka, you're gonna generate quality looks even if you have like 4 non-spaces with him because of how good of a player he is, right? So I think that just going forward will help them substantially. But yeah, shout out to the Dallas Mavericks. They made some substantial trades. They will be a contender, in my opinion, going forward. So I just need a little bit more sample. But another team,
the Knicks, right?
Yeah, the Knicks. The Knicks
they
definitely made a few trades that move the needle for them. Do I think they can compete with some of these other teams? Nah, but they can. Actually, no, compete maybe. Do I think they can beat? No, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm about this close to saying that they're gonna beat the Bucks in the playoffs.
Nah,
I'm almost there. I'm not there yet, but I'm seriously almost there. That defense in the Bucks does not move me. Doc Rivers as a coach absolutely does not move me.
They employ Julius Randle, so I don't know if they can.
They do employ Julius Randle.
Overcoming Julius Randle is a lot. You feel me? So.
And they don't employ RJ Barrett anymore. So there's that.
That's what I'm saying. So hey, look, hey man,
RJ
listen.
Barrett's been hooping us since he's been a Raptor, so it might have been the next.
They do employ Jalen Brunson, man.
They do, but but I'm not gonna lie. I can't doubt. Milwaukee has been. That's another team we need to talk about just in a few moments. But yeah, the Knicks have been making substantial moves, getting Bojan Bogdanovic, getting Alec Burks as well. They lost Quentin Grimes. They lost a couple role players and a few draft picks, but it was a really good move for them. I think that they needed scoring. They need another scoring punch. Losing Emmanuel quickly was something that was pretty substantial, being a high point per game scorer off the bench while also being a clear positive defensively. You lose that caliber of player for any team, and it's bad for you, right? So replacing that with Bojan and Alec Burks, I think, is really good, alongside with Jalen Brunson and what he has going on, and just allowing another self-creator to create and be an efficient scorer from the perimeter as well. And I think with the rise of DiVincenzo, even offensively, what he's been doing as a self-creator has been really, really good. He's been shooting the hell out of the ball as of late, and he's been hooping out of his mind. So shout out DiVincenzo. But yeah, New York is one of those other sneaky teams in the East that could potentially like make a run. And you don't know what this team is capable of come into the postseason. But like I said, I just think in a 7-game series, I would bank on the Bucks in Boston still beating this team. So
as good as Quickly was, I just feel like Bojan I trust more to run a normal unit without Brunson or Randle on the floor. And I think having that type of steadiness with the depth that they have with Dante and more of their wings with a defensive head coach first, I think that gives them a great chance. Because last year, a lot of people had the Cavs. They dominated the Cavs, and they went 6 games with the Heat where Randle was basically in and out, and Brunson was just great the entire series. So now next year you're bringing back that same team, which gives you more continuity. You now add Bojan and Alec Burks as guys who can shoot in space, and now you just have a lot more things going for you. So I could see a scenario where they shock and beat one of those teams, but we have to see it. So I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. Shout out to New York. You know what I'm saying? They bowling type shit. But yeah, just to move on to the Phoenix Suns and the Warriors.
Oh, this Nurkic shit, yeah.
There's audio of what was going on in the game, so let's tap in real quick. Let's see what's being said, chat.
Word up.
I know what he said here. I read his lips.
Yeah.
It's me. This is Draymond we miss, bro.
That's the Draymond that I love.
This is the Draymond we miss, gang. I ain't gonna lie.
Draymond that
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. It's me. It's me.
Bro,
Oh, that's hilarious.
Shout out Draymond, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He was punking that nigga Yusuf Nurkic. And you know what the funny thing is?
He was punking him.
Talking about this with one of my guys. Shout out Ash. You brought this up. This isn't even Nurkic's worst moment playing against us. Surprisingly enough.
It's actually not.
He let Chris Paul get 3 and 1s or like 3 drives to the basket and score layups against
I remember this.
and get an and 1. Like high pick and roll. He beat Nurkic, got to the basket and scored a layup multiple times. That you just let that happen. That's crazy.
Yeah, what did Draymond say? You can't be a nothing on defense and do that.
Yeah, he listen. Draymond eviscerated him in the post game, bro.
Yeah, it was
that was crazy.
Bad, and then Steph stamped it by calling him idiotic. So fair,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you never hear Steph even talk like that
because he was talking about he hasn't learned anything. He shouldn't have been given a chance.
Should have been given a chance.
That shit is so crazy for him to say, bro.
Dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Might be a lie to you, Draymond. The funny part is Draymond was actually pretty tamed for most of this.
He was very calm.
How do you like try the whole game to bait someone into an ejection and then when it
fail
doesn't
that hard?
Work, you get pissed.
Like that's insane. I'm not gonna lie, bro. And they were taunting that nigga when he had to foul, saying "Bye, Draymond, sit your ass down." All types of stuff, bro. But it's
yep.
I ain't gonna lie. Shout out Draymond for keeping his composure, man. Them therapy classes, them breathing exercises is putting.
I mean, it's just work, bro.
It's work, and you still have that same energy. So I'm liking this, bro. Draymond, top 5 defender in the league, bro. You've been fantastic, man. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, bro. I think we're gonna wrap it up though. To be honest with you, because this has been a great pod, a great week of basketball, a great week of Warriors basketball, man.
Hey man, shout out to y'all for all the support. I just want to highlight how crazy this is. We literally just sat up here, did a podcast, no game at all whatsoever. We had consistent viewership all the way through. Shout out to y'all. We literally made this shit from zero out of the mud to here, and we wouldn't be here without you guys tapping in, clicking on every push notification and whatnot. So we appreciate all y'all support as we keep on.
We appreciate y'all, man, so fucking much, bro. 411 members strong right now. I don't know how much. It could be more potentially after this podcast. I don't know what it is right now. Mm-hmm. But road to 1K, bro. Road to 1K members. We're halfway to our goal, or almost halfway. You feel me, bro? I just joined. Don't worry, the VOD will be up tomorrow, so you'll be able to listen up to what the pod was, Dubs. Don't worry, we got you, big dog.
Yeah.
We'll be back Monday, right? For the Utah game. The Utah game is on Monday, correct? Or let me double check really quick.
I believe that's Monday.
Yeah. So yeah, well, 4 games in 5 nights is actually kind of crazy. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we'll be back Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, and 8 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Shout out Denver. Yeah, and why are you making that face? You bring up Mountain Time, bro. Now I have to mention it every time when I do these time zones, bro.
It did happen.
That did happen. So shout out to Denver for reminding me there might be people who live in Mountain Time watching this. So if you are, move. If you aren't, W. Yeah. So it's been KB. Denver Gift, if you have anything to say to wrap it up.
I'll let Denver go first.
Yeah. I mean, 400 and what is it? I mean, I'm showing 411. It's probably more than that, but yeah. My goodness, it's been what, like A month?
Yeah, a month.
Like a little bit less.
We had games missing because of like the Draymond stuff and
That's what I'm saying. We missed like weeks. We
Yeah.
missed a week of like worth of content, and we didn't even get to do that much. So the support has been outrageous, man. 400 members strong in 1 month's time is crazy. The growth has been insane. Even like the room count, like the viewership and people just joining and watching has been growing. Like we've been consistently getting like, we started off like obviously pretty small, and then now we're working our way to like 30, 40. We peaked at like 60 something last night with the game.
we did.
So like it was really good, bro. I genuinely appreciate all the support that y'all been showing.
And this is the highest podcast day too, because again, this is us doing no games, just talking about how the week went and the hoops, and y'all been here the entire time. That's really huge, bro.
Yeah. To the people who are asking where the VOD gets uploaded, it gets uploaded to the Goldblooded podcast YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I'll put the link is in the pin messages. It'll be up tomorrow. It'll be up tomorrow around like 5ish. So be sure to tap in, have the noties on. You feel me? You can rewatch the whole pod. And also follow just the short form content as well that we posting on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. We post a lot of short form stuff to help you guys and just find us. But honestly, yeah, like I said, Chad, I can't thank you more than enough for all the support that you guys have been showing. It's been pretty substantial and crazy. Road to 1K members is hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. I'm praying that it's soon. But yeah, it's been KB Gifted.
Yep.
We appreciate y'all. We'll be back tomorrow for Memphis, Utah at the
Gifted. Are you watching the Super Bowl in Discord or?
Yes, I will be tapping into the Super Bowl. But we can do it in Discord. I'm fine with that. Sure. Last but not least, people, we're going. Make sure to follow all of our social medias and YouTubes. Denver has been on a tear with his uploads. KB is also getting back on his YouTube stuff. I just brought back my own podcast, Gift the Who's podcast, that I'm trying to do 2 uploads each week as well. So we being consistent. That's where you can keep up with us, but we'll catch you guys Monday. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, chat. You feel me?
Peace.
Be back. Peace, easy.